Number 1. Two wires carrying electricity can create a spark if they come too close together. This spark can start a fire. Wires carrying electricity are usually covered with plastic to keep them from starting a fire. Why does the plastic keep the electricity from starting a fire? A. Plastic is a good insulator. B. Plastic can melt when heated. C. Plastic is softer than wire. D. Plastic conducts electricity. Number 2. A student draws a model showing the movements of Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. Movements of Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. Sun, Earth, Moon. Which arrow shows the movement that causes day and night on Earth? Arrow 1 because it shows the rotation of the Sun. Arrow 2 because it shows the orbit of Earth around the Sun. Arrow 3 because it shows the orbit of the Moon around Earth. Arrow 4 because it shows the rotation of Earth. Number 3. Lasers produce a beam of light that can be focused on a small area. A teacher uses two mirrors to shine a beam of light from a laser onto a box. Which diagram shows how the teacher should position the two mirrors? Number 4. A partial food web of a pond ecosystem is shown below. Great blue herons, frogs, water beetles, algae, tadpoles, small fishes. Which type of organism is missing from this food web? Decomposers, producers, predators, consumers. Number 5. Which list best describes a landslide? A. Can occur after heavy rain, can take less than 1 minute to occur, causes lava to flow, increases the temperature of nearby land, causes ocean waves to increase in size. B. Causes large amounts of soil to move at once, usually happens rapidly, can be caused by earthquakes or volcanoes, can change the direction of creeks and streams. C. Causes nearby air to move fast, increases the temperature of the air, causes rivers to flow faster, produces cracks in the ground, usually caused by volcanoes on the ocean floor. D. Can cause tornadoes to form, remove soil from hillsides, occurs near volcanic eruptions, changes the shape of rivers. 6. For a science assignment, a student was asked to observe some organisms and then make a table to classify the organism's traits as inherited or learned. The student's table is shown below. Observations of some organisms. Trait, inherited or learned. A colt able to walk right after birth. Student texting a message. Spider spinning a web. Brown fur on a bear. Child using a fork to eat. Woman driving a car. Green leaves on a tree. Lion jumping through a hoop. How many of these observations describe learned behaviors and how many describe inherited traits? 1 learned behavior, 7 inherited traits. 2 learned behaviors, 6 inherited traits. 3 learned behaviors, 5 inherited traits. 4 learned behaviors, 4 inherited traits. Number 7. All the light bulbs in this circuit are lit. Which change would cause all the bulbs to go out? Removing wire 1, removing wires 2 and 4, removing wires 2 and 5, removing wires 3 and 4. Number 8. Erosion is one of the processes involved in the formation of sedimentary rock. Which of these best describes the process of erosion? Rocks are broken into smaller pieces that remain in the same location. Pressure compacts layers of sediment and turns them into rock. Pieces of rock or soil are carried from one place to another. Sediment grains fall to the bottom of a lake to form sedimentary layers. Number 9. A student conducts an investigation using caramel candy, paper plates, and a stopwatch. The student places a piece of the caramel candy on each of the 3 plates. The student puts the plates in different locations around the school. The student will record the time it takes for each piece of caramel candy to change state and other observations in the table below. Data from candy investigation. Location of candy. In the shade under a tree, on a table in the sunlight, in a classroom. The time it takes candy to change state in minutes. Observations. Which question is the student most likely trying to answer with this investigation? In which location does the caramel candy change state the fastest? What causes the caramel candy to keep its shape? Why does the caramel candy change state? At what temperature does the caramel candy melt? Number 10. A student observing birds in a park records some ways that birds interact with living and non-living parts of their environment. All the following observations are ways that a bird interacts with non-living parts of its environment except reacting to morning sunlight by singing, drinking and taking a bath in a puddle of water, responding to cold temperatures by fluffing its feathers, feeding insects to its chicks. Number 11. A student made a list of activities that involve energy. Sharks chasing a school of fish, a toaster heating bread, a cell phone charging, a tree limb falling to the ground, tomato plants absorbing sunlight, a canoe floating down a river. Which activities on this list are examples of the use of mechanical energy? Activities 1, 4, and 6, activities 2, 4, and 5, activities 1 and 2, activities 3, 5, and 6. Number 12. A student combined powdered paint with water to make a small amount of a blue liquid paint mixture. The student left the paint mixture in an open container. Several days later, the student found the container and observed that changes had occurred. What most likely happened to the mixture? The container was empty after the mixture evaporated into the air. The paint evaporated, leaving only clear water in the container. H. The water evaporated, leaving only a dry blue solid in the container. J. The liquid paint mixture was lighter in color after some water evaporated. Number 13. The shells of sea turtles are flatter than the shells of land turtles. Sea turtle, land turtle. Sea turtles are also different from land turtles because sea turtles cannot pull their heads or limbs into their shell to protect themselves from predators. Instead, the head, shell shape, and flippers of sea turtles help them escape from predators mainly by allowing them to dig deep holes for their eggs, swim and dive easily, blend into their surroundings, hold their breath for several minutes. Number 14. Citizens in a community were surveyed about the type of energy resource they would like for a new power plant. The results of the survey are shown in the table. Energy resource, number of citizens. Wind turbines placed along the coast, 257. Coal mined in another state, 51. Solar panels in a field outside the city, 112. Wind turbines placed on hills outside the city, 116. Natural gas from natural gas wells in the state, 314. How many citizens chose alternative energy resources? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. 15. 2 students are playing on a swing set. Student 1 is leaning back and extending her legs as she moves upward. Student 2 is sitting on the swing with his feet on the ground. Which statement best describes how position and work are related in this picture? Both students are doing work, even if only one student is changing position. Student 1 is changing position because work is being done on the swing. Work done by Earth's gravity prevents student 2 from changing position. Work is being done on both students by the swings because one swing is changing position. Number 16. Tropical climates have warm temperatures and abundant sunlight all year. What must be available for plants in these climates to make their own food throughout the year? Bacteria, birds, shade, water. 17. Students construct this model of a hill covered by sugar cubes with clay. The students placed the model in a large pan and poured hot water over it every day for a week. What does this model best represent? A method for removing fossil fuels from hills. B, the formation of caves in hills. C, the formation of plains. D, a method for separating minerals. 18. A student puts 4 objects in a bucket filled with water. The objects are listed below. Plastic ball, glass marble, metal paperclip, wood block. Which 2 objects are most likely less dense than the water? Wood block and metal paperclip, plastic ball and glass marble, metal paperclip and glass marble, wood block and plastic ball. Number 19. Some students are investigating the life cycle of the spotted salamander. They learned that these salamanders must live close to water and lay their eggs in water. After 20 to 60 days, the eggs hatch as larvae that must stay in the water until they mature into adult salamanders. The students infer that the life cycle of the spotted salamander is similar to the life cycle of the frog because both animals have long tails and strong jumping legs as adults, live near water and produce larvae with wings, lay eggs in water which hatch into larvae that live in water, produce offspring that hatch from eggs and look like adults. Number 20. Which of these is a renewable resource? Gasoline that contains some alcohol, wind produced by the uneven heating of Earth's surface, natural gas pumped from deep underground. None of these. 21. In parts of the East Texas piney woods ecosystem, there are forests with many tall pine trees. These thick forests have few other types of tall trees besides pine trees. The other plants growing in the ecosystem are usually small shrubs, grasses, and other short trees. A student wants to know what type of birds live in the piney woods region. The student reads the table shown below about 4 different birds. Some characteristics of 4 Texas bird species. Bird, burrowing owl. Characteristics: builds its nest in holes underground in open areas with no trees. Eats insects, scorpions, and small animals. Roseate spoonbill. Characteristics: builds its nest in thick plants growing above bodies of water. Eats small fish and shrimp. Red cockaded woodpecker. Builds its nest in holes dug in old live trees, often found nesting in family groups in many trees growing near one another. Eats sap from trees and insects found under tree bark. Golden-cheeked warbler. Builds its nest in oak and juniper trees and canyons. Nests are made of juniper bark and spiderwebs. Eats insects and spiders found on the leaves of oaks and other trees. Based on the table, which bird is most likely to live in Texas's piney woods region? Burrowing owl, roseate spoonbill, red cockaded woodpecker, golden-cheeked warbler. 22. An old-fashioned metal toy is shown below. When the candle is lit, the carousel of horses begins to turn. Which of these correctly describes the energy that makes the carousel turn? Heat from the candle produces currents of warm air. Heat from the candle produces electrical energy. Light from the candle produces mechanical energy. Light from the candle produces wind currents. 23. Many types of grazing animals live in Africa. The pictures show 2 of these animals that have about the same mass and height at the shoulder: Thompson's gazelle and gerenuk. Based on observations of the pictures of these animals, which statement describes an advantage that only one of these animals has in obtaining food? The Thompson's gazelle has a body shape that allows it to run faster when chasing prey. The Thompson's gazelle has horns that can be used to move tree branches out of the way to reach food. The gerenuk has a sharp, pointed nose for detecting the scent of predators. The gerenuk has a long neck that allows it to reach high to eat from trees.